Hey everybody, welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture and Justice League Monday. We're looking at Justice League number 15 today from July of 1988. Story by Giffen and DeMatteis, art by Leialoha and Gardner. And this is the second part of a little series pitting the Justice League International against Manga Khan, who runs a galactic shopping network that mostly involves him stealing all the resources from planets. A little bit of a Galactus thing there. And we see him on the cover saying, and it can all be yours for our special low price. The lives of the JLI. Offer void or prohibited by law. Well, let's dive into this, dude, and see what we got. And our story today is titled Gnort and South. And so we begin with a view from Lord Manga Khan's massive spaceship. I mean, this thing is absolutely huge. You got to remember, this dude is a little bit of a parody of, I think, like, old Marvel villains like Doctor Doom and their grandiose, monologues that they would do. And it's a little bit of a parody of maybe the manga that they saw coming into the United States. Again, there was a little bit of a American comic book creators at that time maybe looking a little bit down on that stuff. They're doing it so much now. We also have a awesome little Don Martin illustration over here for Jolly Ranchers. Funny because when I bought this comic book, I probably bought it at the 7-Eleven, and my normal thing was to grab the cash that I had. You go down, get 2 or 3 comic books off the rack, and then I would get a bunch of Jolly Ranchers, usually the sticks. Now, not normally apple. No, I usually went for watermelon or cherry, but throw one of those things, in your mouth, jump on the bike, ride home with the comics, and spend the afternoon reading. Okay, that's enough of that. Gnort and South. Do my eyes deceive me? Is the cluster under attack? I'm happy to report, Lord Manga, that your eyes are working perfectly. We are indeed under attack. Who is it, Elron? Who would dare? A Green Lantern, my lord, and not the lantern assigned to this sector. Obviously a rogue, or an idiot. Well, as if the Green Lantern Corps would allow an idiot to join. Oh, yeah, it's Gnort, yes. So, if you recall from last issue, Gnort saw one of these planets that was devastated, saw that Manga Khan was coming after Earth next, and so he flew off to defend the Earth from the evil cluster. So what we have here is, and this kind of gives you an insight into Lord Manga Khan and his operation. He's being assured by his robot assistant there, Elron, that don't worry. First of all, we're under no real danger from this guy. And second, we're still profitable on this venture. So that's very important. They're sort of, they have a profit motive on this stuff. So they're fighting, and we see Gnort here grab a hold of this thing with a giant, fuzzy hand, because he's a fuzzy guy. And suck on this, turkeys. And he basically smashes it, and that destroys their cloaking shield. And so Manga Khan is freaking out here, Sir, our cloaking shield is down. What? I said our cloaking shield is down. I heard you. That was a rhetorical what, you idiot. Oh, well, anyway, our main power unit's been destroyed by the GL. What? I forget I said that. So we're going into full action comedy with this stuff. And I think they do a pretty good job of balancing the two things. So it's, the comedy's not edging out the action, and the action isn't making the comedy irrelevant. So that's what's going on in space. And he decides, okay, forget the deadline that I gave these guys. Oh, look at this. This is one of those little plastic tabs from the Superman figure I was just opening up. That would be this Superman figure. So they say, okay, screw the deadline I gave these people to decide whether or not they're going to join our network. We're going in. And we see he's got these dudes down in the outback of Australia, where people love the Bloomin' Onion and the Fosters. And these are his dudes down there. And they're going, oh, well, we're going for it. Well, we're going to get out of here a little quicker than we thought. And this is like, well, I was hoping we'd have time to pick up some souvenirs. There are these paintings I've heard about, little earth children with big eyes on a velvet background. Okay, so how deadly can those guys be? Well, we're going to find out, because the call goes out for the mighty heroes, and the JLI is sent in. So the JLI is going to split into two groups here. Now, one of them, we have Mr. Miracle, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Green Flame, and Ice Maiden. Haven't changed their names yet. They're heading for the Outback to deal with the power surge that's going on there. This is actually kind of a funny scene, because the power surge blows out something on Mr. Miracle's costume. He goes, yeah, it's just that when the surge broke loose, it shorted out my arm unit. Good thing you didn't store that thing in your pants. Beetle, there's nothing like a good sense of humor. Yeah? You've got nothing like a good sense of humor. Hey, I thought that was actually pretty funny. And he's right. It is a good thing he didn't have that in his pants. So that's one unit. They're going in, and we get a little bit of a tussling between Beetle, who's now going to be referred to as Butthead, with Fire and Ice. I'm just going to call him that because it's quicker. He's like, yeah, Global Guardians, big deal. Like he doesn't necessarily think those two are really up to Justice League standards. Of course, he's in the Justice League, so we also have a space shuttle taking off with Captain Atom, Martian Manhunter, and Rocket Red to go after this giant invasion fleet that they found in space. And Captain Atom is kind of like, this is like a suicide mission, right? Like, we can't, there's only 3 of us. What are we going to do? And once they get out there, the first thing he remembers here is, it occurs to me, if I actually use my powers, I'll rupture my suit. And if I rupture my suit, I'll die. So we know from there that, no, Captain Atom cannot exist in space without a spacesuit. And, Martian Manhunter's like, oh, that's wonderful. So what are we going to do about these guys, even though they are very powerful? Back in the Outback, they're discovering that these dudes are actually quite dangerous. You even have Mr. Miracle going like, I don't think Darkseid could, design a more efficient murder machine. So they go into combat with them. It's not going particularly well. Combat up in space, also a little bit difficult. And so Captain Atom decides, well, I got a plan. What we can do against all these fighters is use all this debris, and we could just kind of throw it at them. Martian Manhunter's like, oh man, like that's your great plan, Mr. Military. Awesome. On the bridge, Manga Khan is learning that, well, even with the losses they've sustained, still should be profitable. And, this is futile. It said the Green Lantern that was attacking us is now going after the fighters. So he's not going to do any more damage to our main ship. So that's very good. And, would you like some warm milk? And send it to my quarters as Manga Khan stomps off. So these two decide they're going to start throwing debris when a fighter zeroes in on them, and they're sitting ducks. But who comes to the rescue? Gnort. Gnort comes to the rescue, destroys the fighter. It's kind of nice, as goofy and as dumb as Gnort is, it is nice to see him actually doing some good. He's going to become, I think, more useless as time goes by, unfortunately. But down in the Outback, Blue and Gold are discovering that Fire and Ice are no slouches whatsoever. Ice Maiden slicks up the ground, and Green Flame, boom, right into the back of the knee of this big murder machine. Pretty awesome. Takes it down. And Mr. Miracle decides to evade and go into the giant spaceship. And he discovers that the guy who's following him is very fast as well as very powerful. So outside, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold and Fire and Ice are underneath a force field that Booster Gold is generating. The big thing is yelling, surrender. And if we do, I'll kill you. And if we don't, I'll kill you. Tough choice. Meanwhile, up in space, in the wild blue yonder, as they say, Gnort is actually kicking some butt. And he takes out those fighters. And so all of a sudden, the fighters start pulling back, even though they still technically outnumber them. And, there's a nice line here from Rocket Red. I do not know why everyone says you are incompetent. Who says I'm incompetent? Who says I'm no? That's maybe a little reference to F Troop. You would get Forrest Tucker. I can't think of the character's name now. O'Rourke saying to Larry Storch's Agarn, something like, I don't know why people call you dumb. And usually they would wait until like the next scene, and all of a sudden Agarn would go, who calls me dumb? To kind of emphasize the fact that he's a little slow. Okay, so there seems like maybe a little bit of a callback to that. So we have Manga Khan. Notice he's got the dark side pose going. Probably also a Dr. Doom pose. It's a very Kirby villain pose. When you get right down to it, that's up here in this panel. Tell me you're joking. I'm joking, but you're not, are you? No, my lord. This enduring opposition has put us over the safe time limit. The odds on other paranormals becoming involved before we can consolidate control has swayed in their favor. The loss of our cloaking ability was a greater factor than we'd first believed. Our only hope was to put their populace at risk, thereby neutralizing the risk of so-called superhero involvement. This holding action by this Justice League has put us in a precarious position. Shall I go on, sir? Is there more? Uh-huh. I've heard enough. We're faced with something so horrible, it's almost beyond belief. The possibility of expenditure without profits. Have you any suggestions, my loyal servant lackey? And, sir, I asked you not to call me. Oh, sorry. Suggestions. Well, we're already 0.0005% in the red. Agreed. Terminate the operation. We'll live to shop another day. And so that is why they're pulling back. I wish I could actually turn that page. They're pulling back because this operation is no longer profitable. And so off they go. And that happens down in the Outback as well. And off they go. But they kind of realize, where's Scott? Last I saw was when he went into the containment unit. Oh boy. So Mr. Miracle was on that containment unit. We see it here. When it launched back into space, which means Mr. Miracle is in the hands of the cluster. You lost him? The man I love more than life itself, the only human being in the universe who I ever dared give my heart to, my breath, my hope, my life, and you lost him. Let's just say we misplaced him. Now calm down, Barda. I said we're going after him. We've managed to procure a starship, and you're not going anywhere yet. Now, what's she planning? Perhaps a box lunch for us to take? Now we're going. Oh, yeah, come on here. Big Barda. The role that a 90s Lucy Lawless was born to play. Alas, we were cheated of that. And so meanwhile, back home, we see the rest of the league, the ones who are not going on this rescue mission, kind of annoyed that they're not going. We see Blue Beetle apologizing to Ice Maiden and Green Flame. I'm sorry. You guys were awesome. I was a jerk for doubting you. Okay. So all that, that's good. So we're getting a little bit of a rapport between them. But they're also going, where is Guy Gardner in all this? Where is Guy Gardner? And we flash to Gotham City and Batman chasing down a guy named Rocco. Tell me what I want to know, Rocco. Oh, come on, Batman, please. I'm losing my temper. How about it, Bats, huh? Pretty please? I told you, Guy, not while I'm working. So basically, where's Guy Gardner? He's in Gotham City trying to convince Batman to come back to the League that he has quit. Will Batman return? Will scot-free be saved from the evil cluster? Tune in next week. Same Justice League time, same Justice League channel for Justice League number 16. And we will then go over that comic. So I like this one. I like the character. He's kind of fun. It's one of those characters can certainly be overdone, and you'll have to decide if they overdo him. But overall, I liked him. It's good action. It's got some funny stuff in it, some good lines, good comic. I think they're starting to hit their stride here with these books. And next one is a little bit sexy. His name is Wayne, Bruce Wayne. Okay, so we'll cover that issue next time, next Justice League Monday. Let me know in the comments what you think of this book, what you think of this comic book series. I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, maybe share with a friend. But until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there. And I will see you hopefully again soon in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.